Overnight, as many as 5 rockets were fired at the airport in Kabul, and U.S. officials say the missile defense system intercepted them. This all happening as the U.S. does complete a full withdrawal from the country. Joining us now, Democratic Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar. Congressman Cuellar, thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning to you.
We know President Biden right now facing criticism from both sides of the aisle for how this troop withdrawal was executed. We don't see a whole lot of lawmakers coming to his defense at this point. Congressman Cuellar, what should have been done differently, do you think?
Well, keep in mind that this was a withdrawal agreement that was set in place by President Trump when he signed the Doha agreement, and he negotiated only with the Taliban, did not include the Afghanistan government also. So they set a timetable. But when President Biden inherited this process, in my opinion, I think in the opinion of a lot of my colleagues, he should have handled this exit a lot better. You don't set a timetable when you're going to be leaving. You take out the Americans, the allies, and then you leave and not set a timetable, because what we saw was a sea of humanity around the commercial airport, which I've been at, and I've been to the other military base also. And it just created a situation that somebody could have been killed. And unfortunately, we had people that were killed, including 13 of our servicemen and David Lee Espinoza from my area here.
Yeah, and another big issue that the administration has to deal with now are the Afghans who were brought here, right? While touring Fort Bliss, where some Afghan refugees are being housed, Texas Senator Ted Cruz did share some of his concerns about the vetting process. Listen to what he had to say.
I'm very concerned that the Biden administration is bringing tens of thousands of refugees into the United States without thoroughly vetting them. I believe the Biden administration's proposal to bring 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 65,000, the numbers keep going up and up, to bring large numbers of refugees from Afghanistan without properly vetting them is an invitation to terrorist attacks here in the United States.
Do you agree, Congressman Cuellar? We have heard reports there are those who are not actually on the list, and with so much chaos happening on the ground there in Afghanistan, how confident are you about the vetting process?
Certainly we got to make sure that all proper steps were taken in the vetting process. But look, this was done in a very fast way. And again, they don't have the same data basis like we have over here. All I ask is that at Fort Bliss, they do not let go of anybody into the U.S., to our territories without making sure that everybody is vetted. And it's interesting that in Fort Bliss, as far as I know, you still got immigrants from Central America. Then you got, of course, now Afghanistan folks. And it's interesting that we're just seeing this sea of humanity either from Afghanistan or from Central America coming to our military bases. My question were our military bases set up to do immigration? And that's what we're seeing because of the times. But they have to make sure they properly clear everybody, every single person, before they're released.
Congressman, you briefly mentioned the U.S. Marine that was killed in those terror attacks from your area, 20-year-old David Lee Espinoza from Laredo, Texas. What's your message to his family and to loved ones of all the other fallen heroes who lost their lives during this terrorist attack?
Certainly our condolences or prayers to them. There were heroes. I had the opportunity to talk to Miss Orguin, the mother, and it was very difficult. I'd done this before, about 15, 16 years ago. There's this two small, very poor areas named El Cenizo and Rio Bravo. 15, 16 years ago, I had to go to one of the homes there because we lost a soldier at the beginning of the war. At the end of the war, now there's another community named Rio Bravo, and I had to talk to the mother. And again, I feel for the mother. I got to, on Saturday night, I spent time with the community. The community got together in this small community, Rio Bravo, and it was hard. I was there with the 13-year-old sister and two other brothers of the families that the mother, as you know, is coming back after she met the soldiers' remains in Dover. And right now what we're doing is working to make sure that that body is delivered directly to the Laredo airport instead of San Antonio driving 150 miles. So it's very, very hard. And not only do I feel for this family, but all the other families that lost their soldiers.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking to see that. And we certainly thank them for their service to our country. I want to ask you very quickly before I let you go. We know that the House voted to advance President Biden's economic agenda. You guys essentially advanced the $3.5 trillion budget resolution. In the beginning, though, you were one of the moderate Democrats that opposed tying those two bills together. Where do you foresee these pieces of legislation going from here? And do you support both the bills, both infrastructure bills?
Well, when I first joined this moderate group, their goal was to say vote on the historic transportation bill, which I supported, and we did get a date, September 27th, to vote on. But the other second thing that has not become the most important thing that I requested, because I saw this in 2010, was to say the House will not vote on anything unless if we're in agreement with the Senate. All 50 senators, to make sure that we're on the same page. That will ensure that the progressives and the moderates will have a say-so on this. So this is what we're working on to make sure that we are addressing the safety net, but not in a way that we duplicate or come up with super expensive programs.
So you're saying that right now there is not 50 in the Senate that would support the $3.5 trillion plan that's been launched from progressive Democrats?
I would tell you they don't have 50 senators that support 3.5 trillion. And in the House, there are some members that do not support the $3.5 trillion. That was an arbitrary number that somebody came up with. And this is what I'm saying. Leadership cannot come up with this magical numbers. They have to have input from members like myself and other folks to come up with something that's responsible, it's realistic. We reshape the safety net, but do it in a way that we don't duplicate or come up with super expensive programs.
Congressman Cuellar, we appreciate you joining us here on the National Desk. Hope you have a great week.